Hi, welcome. Today we are gonna be reviewing Virtual Riot's third and newest album, Burning Out. The album came out around a week ago, and since then I've been listening to it on repeat to the point that I decided to make a review about it, which I've never done before. So if you enjoy it, please let me know. Give me suggestions, let me know if I can make anything better, or if there is any project that you would like me to review or react to. If you're not familiar with Virtual Riot, please do yourself a favor, go check out the album as well as his older songs. He's been making music for like 15 years, and he's been at the top of his game since basically the beginning. You cannot pick a bad song by Virtual Riot. So, as I said, do yourself a favor, check it out. Before we get started, I want to clarify that this is not gonna be a crazy in-depth review, and we are not gonna be deep diving into the production aspects of the album. I mostly just wanna share my thoughts. If you want to have more in-depth reviews, shout out Notice Step, go check out his channel. He's way better at this. He's been doing it for years. Before we dive deeper in the individual songs of the album, I would like to mention the similarities and differences I noticed with the previous two albums, which are not that hard to notice, to be honest. Because if you listen to Simulation or Stealing Fire, which are the previous two projects, you can clearly see that both of them have a much clearer theme running through them. Obviously, Simulation being more of a virtual reality kind of theme, where we have a very, like, even just the intro and outro are there is a lot of world building, and also I feel like it's a more melodic focused album. Obviously, there is no there is still happy stuff. You're not missing that at all. But it definitely dives much more into a melodic aspect of the music, and definitely also it runs on the trend of melodic music that was popping up in the underground of EDM in the 2020s, at the beginning of the 2020s. In Stealing Fire, we can see the appearance of the fire theme, which is gonna carry to the third album, but it's definitely a different kind of fire compared to Burning Out. Because in Stealing Fire, the fire is supposed to represent more the inspirations which Virtual Riot is taking from while making the Stealing Fire album. We can see a lot of samples, we can see a lot of melodies being taken from other songs, very iconic samples. And also, as Virtual Riot himself said, Stealing Fire is also in a way supposed to represent his efforts to steal the fire, as in the Greek mythology of Prometheus that is stealing fire from the gods. In this case, it's Virtual Riot stealing fire, which fire in this case would mean knowledge from above, from the bigger producers, like actual good producer knowledge, and sharing it in his well available tutorials. And now we have Burning Out, which after an album like Simulation, building worlds, stealing fire, hiding samples all over the album, and being such a fun experience looking and recognizing them, we have this third new album that I feel like personally doesn't have as much of a strong theme, but also at the same time it doesn't make it any worse, because even though, as I said personally, it doesn't have such a strong theme running through it, it is still such a solid piece of work that you forget that you even need a theme in the first place. Even just the fact that Simulation is such a mm, melodic leaning album, and Stealing Fire definitely dives more into a darker side of Virtual Riot's production. Burning Out, I feel like it is the most varied of the three albums. It is showcasing literally every single style of Virtual Riot. We are starting off with a very over the top bro steppy track. We are getting darker stuff, more, I'm not gonna say rhythm leaning, but definitely more repetitive, darker and heavy sounds. So we are starting off with that, and then we are moving on to more melodic stuff, but like full on melodic. We are getting melodic dubstep with Set the Sky that is sounding like melodic dubstep taken from 10 years ago. We are even getting a closer, which is sounding like Steel Kids, which is Virtual Riot's LES. And we are getting basically all of it. We are getting collaborations. It's such a full package. So I feel like because of it, you are not really missing the theme. Just listening to the album in itself is an experience. And this in a way makes it special. And on top of all of that, just knowing that the album in a way, even looking at the name, you don't need to be a genius, it's called Burning Out because it's literally music that was written in a time where potentially the artist Virtual Riot was feeling burned out after the touring, the stressful deadlines and everything. This album is in a way him finally taking it slow and I feel like personally I can hear that. And this in itself makes it an amazing experience and a contender for potentially being the better of the three albums. But that only time will tell. So yes, the album starts with Burning Out, which, unlike the first two albums that had these very slow intros, Burning Out jumps right into it. No wasting time. It jumps into this very energetic intro with a very euphoric and over the top drop, which is, I would say, almost Virtual Riot in full flow. Like, he's going at it. And to be honest, it's been a while since we've heard a track like this one from Virtual Riot, and that was so exciting to hear it for the first time. And it definitely sets the tone for the rest of the album. Not in the way you think, because you might think that the album is gonna keep with these kinds of bangers, which is not completely true, but it definitely sets the tone in a way of what the quality will be throughout the rest of the project. And in that way, it definitely doesn't disappoint. Um, and also the variety in the first song. We are starting off with, as I said, this very energetic drop. Then it moves on to the mid section, which is giving a little bit of Jersey Club. Not a genre genius here. I actually am not sure if this is true, but it did sound like Jersey to me. And then it closes off with this very filthy sustained basses. It's giving a little bit of trap, and then all of a sudden after the sustain, it goes back to this very fast paced synth. It's really a good opener. Like, definitely not the same one as in the first two albums, as I said. Definitely a different kind of opener, but it definitely delivers. And after Burning Out, it moves to Fire and Forget, which is definitely a song that sounds definitely more like a song that comes from Stealing Fire. It's heavier, darker. It relies very strongly on repetitive, heavy, dark synths, and it is not leaving room for that much melody until the last drop, where all of a sudden Virtual Riot pulls up with an amazing drop, which consists of this alteration of synths, melodies, and they are just playing around each other. It's actually a very good song. And the only remark I have on this song specifically is, now I'm gonna be sounding like Notice Step. It's the snare. Like, in the first drop, the snare doesn't feel like it's fully releasing the whole energy of the drop. Only in the second part of the drop, actually, it feels like the song is fully developing. And I feel like it's also a theme throughout more of the songs in this album, where the start tends to be a little slower, maybe a little bit closed in itself, and only after moving on, like with time, it develops and it showcases, like the song itself showcases itself. So yeah, this is the second song, Fire and Forget. And right after Fire and Forget, we're moving to another song, which is suffering a little bit from the same issues that Fire and Forget is suffering from, which is Shit's on Fire. And that song could be so much better personally. Obviously, there is, I'm sure, a lot of people that enjoy it a lot. But Shits on Fire has, like, such an amazing closer, such an amazing third drop, such an amazing second drop. It's the first one that I just cannot personally feel. Both because of the snare, once again, it just doesn't feel like it's releasing the first drop to its full potential, which obviously not every snare needs to be the best snare ever, but I really do feel like it takes away from the enjoyment of the first drop. And also, I feel like it's a little clunky, like the transitions between the heavier parts and the like it is it's so sudden that it actually takes away from the experience personally. But this doesn't take away from how original it is. So that's definitely a big plus for it. Sheets on Fire being obviously one of the singles that released before the album released. After Sheets on Fire, we are moving on to the first collaboration of the album, which is with Tokyo Machine, which was such a long awaited collab. I love both Tokyo Machine and Virtual Riot, love their music since forever, and seeing both their names on the same song finally after so many years was so cool. And I was just a little disappointed that the song ended up being Virtual Riot with the newer Tokyo Machine style. Like, Tokyo Machine, obviously, like any artist, the music changes. No artist stays stale. You cannot keep your music the same forever. So I respect, obviously, artists adapting to to changes, approaching new styles, trying new things. But I was just so hopeful that we would get like a full-on melodic track with proper 2015, 16 Virtual Riot synths and fun Tokyo Machine melodies like in Epic or now I'm forgetting the songs. Obviously, I am forgetting them, but I was so hopeful that we would get it. And instead, we do get still a very good song, good intro. The vocal is actually very fun. It's so catchy. But the first drop definitely reminds more of the newer Virtual Riot and newer Tokyo Machine styles combined. It's, for me personally, a little bit too full on with the sound. It's um, feeling very distorted, very wide. It's like just throwing sounds at you. And people notice the similarity of this song to a Xylent song, which there is this rumor that Tokyo Machine is Xylent, which, to be honest, could even be true. But yeah, it's definitely sounding like Xylent a little bit. So for people that enjoy this, this was such a, I mean, this must be such a good song. For me, it only picks up once again in the second drop, where the drop steps one step back. It's not as full on, and instead it focuses more once again on the melody and on the rhythm, and it is a little bit more staggered, and it's much nicer on the ear for me personally. And from there, it's just gonna be collabs from now on for a few songs, because now we are moving on to aura forming, aura farming with Eliminate, which this one I feel like personally is the biggest disappointment on the album. Not because it's the worst song, it's not bad, but like once again, it's kind of a similar thing like with Virtual Riot and Tokyo Machine. When you have an artist like Eliminate, which released some of the best songs in the past few years consistently. I started following Eliminate since like his first debut EPs on Disciple, and him releasing so many good songs throughout the years, and specifically the past 2 years even, he had such good output of songs. Like you definitely can see development of Eliminate as an artist. He was definitely like he was this funny haha trap whale cyber whale guy in 2019 or whatever, and he now is like a mature actual good producer. Like he makes such good quality music, and I just feel like aura farming doesn't reflect it. I don't see the quality in that song as much as I would want to. Both with the production, I once again I just feel like it's a little flat, and also with the ideas. It's very repetitive. It's not really doing anything crazy, which once again, the song doesn't have to do anything crazy. Like some of my most liked songs are songs that don't do anything crazy, they just do it well. But here I feel like it doesn't really hit the spot, which is unfortunate. Also because the first and last drop are actually basically a copy paste, which because of it, this song actually doesn't follow the trend of the other songs I talked about, where they start worse and get better. This one just starts like it starts and just stays at it, which is very unfortunate. After aura farming, we are moving on to a Dodge collab, which was unexpected. Definitely not expecting a collab with Dodge and Fusky in 2026. But I mean, not to be. I guess I'm not that surprised after seeing that Dodge and Fusky made a comeback in 2026. I'm saying Dodge and Fusky because they are still releasing as Dodge and Fusky, but it's just Dodge. But yeah, not surprised because Dodge released an EP, and I'm pretty sure that Virtual Riot basically was a co-writer in almost all the songs, so it was inevitable that they would have a song released together sooner than later. So here it is with Found You, which is another very decent song. Not gonna say surprisingly, it's just that you kind of never know what to expect from Dojo and Fusky. So here it starts off with a very, once again, like actually not a bad drop at all. It's just that I feel like personally it's a little straightforward. Very good sounds, very good production. It definitely hits the spot. Then it moves on to this melodic bit, which is beautiful. Like, as always, you cannot miss with melodic parts with Virtual Riot. He just gets those chords right every damn time. And it just moves to the third drop, where all of a sudden it is a little bass housey, and it sounds like Just Say Yes, which is Dodger and Fusky's bass house alias from like years ago. So that was also a surprise. That was not something I was expecting. Definitely a solid song. Once again, you can see throughout this list of songs so far that the variety in the genres is all over. Like we are getting a little bit of bro step here, a little bit of more darker stuff, melodic sounds here and there. Then we are getting this like very silent E track with Tokyo Machine. Then we are getting this eliminate thing, whatever it is. And now we are getting melodic and a little bit of bass house. And that's not the end, because right after Found You with Dojo and Fusky, we are moving on to What You Got with Viper Active, which when it released, it was such a good song. Definitely, after listening to it so many times, it now uh, I'm not as crazy about it as I was when it released, but it still is such a good song, such a good blend of Viper Active's trap style and Virtual Riot, that like I feel like this is completely out of context, but like Virtual Riot definitely showcased how good he's at collaborations with his chemistry EP on Disciple, where it was basically just collaborations with other artists. And it's crazy how well Virtual Riot is able to complement the artist he's collaborating with. It's not like Virtual Riot style is not so predominant that he takes over when collaborating. He just takes the style of the person he's collaborating with and he just elevates it, which is so amazing to see every time. And I feel like he did it once again with Viper Active, where yes, we take Viper Active's trappy style and we just get it elevated with a little bit of bro step. The sounds get elevated. The flow is also amazing. Definitely not the best track neither by Virtual Riot or Viper Active, but it's still so cool to see their styles combined and see them on a track together. It's so exciting seeing these kinds of collabs happen, because I would never think that we would see them collab anytime soon, to be honest. Um, and once again, as I said, here we are getting a little bit more on the trappy side first drop, and then we are getting a bro step E second drop, which just is such a nice closer to the track, and the melodies and the little moments here and there that just take you off guard overall elevate this song to a level that is like very solid. And after What You Got, we are moving on to statues that probably is my favorite song on the album, just because of how solid it is all throughout. It doesn't really have a bad moment at any point. It starts off with this amazing choir. It's second favorite. I just remembered which one is my favorite. So, second favorite. It starts off with this amazing choir, which gives a nice atmosphere, and don't you already can feel during the build up the melody of the drop creeping up, and then you get the drop, which is so amazing. Like, this is what I love to hear from Virtual Riot. Like, you just get proper left and right sounds coming from all directions, all angles. You just get changes in rhythm, shift, pitch. It just moves all over the place, and you don't know what to expect, which is what Virtual Riot does so well. You if he does a track well, you don't even know where to look at. Sounds are coming at you from every direction. You have the main sound doing like the main melody, and then at random moments the melody stops and you just get these random filthy feels of synths and growls that are just so good. It's such a good song. And in the second drop, I feel like it only gets elevated because it gets even filthier, like it gets even straight more in your face. It takes away a little bit from the melody and it just fully focuses on the filthy rhythm. It just punches you hit after hit. It that doesn't stop. So such a good song, and I'm so happy that it's out. I feel like I heard it maybe months ago as an ID or somewhere or something. I don't really listen to ID, but I feel like this one I must have heard because I did recognize the melody, and it's just such a good tune. And I really do feel like Statues kind of reaches a climax when it comes to the heavy stuff, because from here onwards it kind of feels like it starts to slow down, and it's a gradual slowdown, which is something I'm a big fan of. Most dubstep albums tend to have, if it's 12 songs, they're gonna have 10 or even 11 heavy songs, maybe with one little interlude, slightly slower song in the middle, but then it just moves from the heaviest song you've ever heard on the 11th song, and 12 is just some generic melodic dubstep, which is cool. Yes, you do slow down the album, but you don't really feel it. It doesn't really give you time to actually feel the melodic song because you're still so immersed in the heavy stuff. And Virtual Riot here takes its time actually, and since he's so good at doing both heavy and melodic, he just stops at statues with the heavy stuff. We still have Paralyzed, which I feel like it's a good middle between the heavy and more melodic stuff, because yes, that's the next song, Paralyzed, with YDG and Luma on vocal duty. Um, and it's still a heavy leaning song, but it is definitely taking it a notch down. It's not as in your face. It is having a little bit more melodies here and there. It definitely has a more low key vibe to it. This is not a song I'm too big on for similar reasons to Sheets on Fire. I feel like it jumps from one idea to another too fast, and I feel like I am not able to fully immerse in it and enjoy it fully, but still doesn't take away from how good of a role it is playing in the context of the album at slowing it down. Also, the vocal is very good, and it just overall I feel like it plays, as I said, a good role in the album. In this it is in a good position, and I feel like it does what it needs to do. Because after Paralyzed, we are fully immersing ourselves to like the melodic chiller stuff with Yellow Lights, which is a collab with Set the Sky, and once again we have a vocalist which is Hymnals. I had to read the name here because there is no way I would remember. Um, which is fully melodic, as you could imagine. There is nothing else you would imagine from Virtual Riot and Set the Sky on a collab together. Here we are just having that classic, very chill, slow vocal that is fully immersing you in this like last leg of the album. You're just driving away, drifting away with the vocals. It's very chill, very low key. Um, Background to the vocal. There is not that much going on when it comes to instrumentation. Then it just moves on to a build up and it drops. And the drop is as the exact same that you like. You can imagine it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like you can, if you imagine a drop made by Virtual Riot and Set the Sky, even if you didn't listen to this song specifically, you know what it sounds like. You're just getting the best of both worlds. Virtual Riot, Set the Sky. You're just getting this very sustained chords, melodic, euphoric, melodic dubstep, which is so focused on the melody and the chords, you're you're just getting taken away by how pretty it is. There is not really much you can say about it. Like, yes, it is not once again the most creative or out of this world song, but it does its job. It really is a good melodic song. Both the first and second drop are very similar, as you would imagine with this kind of song, and it really doesn't need much else to be said about. The only thing is that right after Yellow Lights, I feel like we are getting another one of the better songs on the album, which is Best of Me, and that's why I feel like they're similar in a way because they're both melodic dubstep, but I feel like Yellow Lights is exactly what you would see from a collab with Set the Sky, whereas Best of Me is just Virtual Riot saying, okay, Set the Sky, you can step away, and this is just him doing his thing. It's just Virtual Riot doing his thing when it comes to melodic dubstep. Like, this is exactly the kind of thing you would see on the Never Let Me Go EP. Sorry, Throwback EP. That I just delete this. Yes, on the Throwback EP. This is exactly something you would hear on this kind of EP, and um, yes, it. I feel like because of Best of Me being right after Yellow Lights, it outshines Yellow Lights because of how good it is. Personally, obviously, this is all subjective. I want to remind in case someone is already typing in the comments that I'm so full of shit. But yes, Best of Me, such a good song, such a good vocal once again. So many vocalists on this album, by the way, which also definitely elevates it compared to the first two, which, as far as I'm remembering, there was not as many. And just as Yellow Lights, we're getting this beautiful build up, which I feel like it's even more like impressive than in Yellow Light. Like, it actually builds beautifully, and then it drops into a melodic dubstep drop. Like, it develops into a melodic dubstep drop that is just this beautiful combination of the heavy and melodic stuff. It just jumps between one and the other in such a flawless and properly good way. Like, it's so well done. Like, I don't even know how to properly explain it. It's just so well done. Like, the way he moves from the melodic to the heavier stuff, it he just does it well. He never misses. He knows how to do it, and when he does it, he does it well. He doesn't miss, guys. He doesn't. So it's such a well-made song once again. And once again, here we are not really getting that much variation between the first and third drop. We are definitely getting like after the melodic part of the first drop, we are getting variation on the first drop, which is like a switch up into a fully heavier drop, which still uses the main heavy sounds from the first drop, just takes away the melodic sounds and just fully dives into this heavier dubstep drop, which is nothing too crazy when it comes to creativity. It's not anywhere as creative as statues, but it still delivers and it still gives a nice contrast between the first drop. Yeah, it contrasts nicely the first drop, and it gives variation, which is what you need between the first and third drop that are so similar. You're getting this drop in the middle, which like gives you this last push at the end of the album. This is like the last properly heavy drop, and it's so nice to see. And Best of Me overall, such a good song. Really, it also came out as a single. Listened to it so many times as a single, and here in the album, it does its job as a penultimate song. So good, so good. But not as good as Till the End, which beautiful. This is like the, in my opinion, the best song on the album. Like if I could pick two, I would pick Statues and Till the End. But if I can only pick one, I'm afraid that like Statues is more impressive, but the feeling that Till the End leaves me, also just it being the closer, is so good. The first time I listened to it, I was just it, it, I was flabbergasted, to be honest. It starts off with this beautiful vocal once again, and I feel like this is the best vocal performance on the whole album. It's so pretty and chill, and on top of the vocal being beautiful, you are all of a sudden like it starts off with this vocal and you have no idea where it's gonna go. Maybe you are like, oh, maybe it's gonna go in a similar direction like the Set the Sky Yellow Lights song collab, which would be fair. This is the kind of song that people would use as the outro to the album. Virtual Riot does it better. He does it best, I would argue. He all of a sudden takes away the vocal, and you are blasted with these colorful, beautiful synths, chords that are just firing left and right, changing pitches, changing tones, and they are so also unpredictably moving around but switching between sounds. And first you're getting these more like color bassy sounds that are alternated with like saw chords, and they are just alternating one and another in such a fun and unpredictable way that it just has to make like I can't stop but smiling when listening to this part. It's just so well done, and I keep on saying well done, but that's literally what this album is. If it was a steak, it would not be well done. It would be burned. That's what it would be. Burning out. Sorry, that was not supposed. I didn't think this through. I didn't think about it beforehand. I talk before I talk before I think. Sorry. But yeah, it's so pretty. Just like that's all I have. I'm lacking words. My English vocabulary is not big enough for me to properly express how I feel about this song. But the way this build up is has been written by Virtual Riot is truly one of the best build ups I've heard made by him. Once again, just the little alternation between the sounds and the way they blast from left to right, and then they switch, and then you when you think it's gonna keep on going with one direction, all of a sudden it just flips it, and it's using a different sound that you're not expecting, and it's doing it such a nice and fun and jumpy way that it just, as I said, cannot but make you smile. And the best part, because this is not even the best part, like after this build up, you don't even, at this point you don't know what to expect. With such a vocal and such a build up, you don't know where this is gonna go. And right before the drop, it cuts out for this half second. There is this half second of silence where you still have time to rethink and like have a good thing of what you're about to witness, and it just jumps right into the most beautiful Still Kids Alike drop that you could imagine. It's just so good. It's definitely not the best drop ever made by Virtual Riot, the most creative, inventive, but the build up, the transition, the little silence before the drop, and then it just jumps into the drop, which is, I feel like, produced so well. It's such good production. The the drums, the synths, the little melody. It's so good. And then there is the little choir between the sections. Between every section, there is a little choir that goes ah. And I found out today in the Virtual Riot AMA on Reddit that this is his voice. He actually recorded plenty of instances of his voice and he implemented them in this choir at the end of the song and like between the sections. And I didn't know, and it makes it even better. It's so good. So the whole it's a whole experience. It's not good in one point of this. Like this closer is not good at one point. It's just magical all throughout. Starting with the vocal, the build up, and then it drops in this like very unpredictable and not like yeah, unpredictable. Let's just stick with unpredictable. It just drops in this unpredictable way because you don't know what you're expecting. You're not expecting Still Kids, and then it has this nice melody, these nice synths, and they get then they get taken away, and you get this choir, and then you get the leads again. Like I'm going crazy. Sorry, I'm gonna calm down. But yes, it's such a good song. And obviously, as you can imagine, this is not the kind of song that will progress into anything crazy. It just slowly progresses with the drop, takes away the drop, brings again the vocal. We get again the build up in a slightly different variation, to be honest. It's the synths are changed a little bit. There is more of a up down melody to it. Um, a little more movement in it. And then we jump to the drop that also, as the build up introduces us already to the idea, the drop carries on with this idea of a little bit more variation, a little bit more, or a little bit more of movement in the sounds and mostly in the main melody. And then it just fades away with slowly nice sounds going down, piano, and all the sounds just slowly fading away. And this is Burning Out for you. I love it as a project. And the reason I'm like, you're saying me now, oh my god, so is this your favorite album? I don't know yet. Maybe. Stealing Fire is so good, Simulation is so good. This album came out only for a week, and it's difficult to judge an album after just a week. But I am enjoying it a lot. Specifically, a few of the songs in the album are so nice, and they are such nice songs to hear after so many potentially years of not hearing them from Virtual Riot, specifically after like having a time where he was not releasing that much of the melodic stuff almost at all. Um, so it's so nice to see all this stuff back, and I really hope that we're gonna get more Still Kids kind of songs. And I'm just so happy to see this album coming out. And yeah, the thing I think the thing I think I'm hoping the most for is to get a proper collab with Eliminate, please. I need another collab and I want it to be properly good. I need it. I'm begging. This is something I desire with all myself. If we are not getting a proper Virtual Riot and Eliminate collab in the next few months or years, I'm throwing a riot, a Virtual Riot.